It is the last pay-per-view of 2025. You know what that means. We are in Las Vegas for UFC 323. Merab Dvalishvili in a rematch with Petr Yan, and then the flyweight championship fight in the co-main event. We are here to talk about it all from a gambling perspective. Hello, everybody, from inside T-Mobile Arena. I am Merab Okamoto alongside Ian Parker. We are here to break down these fights and talk about the final pay-per-view of the year, headlined by the man himself, Merab Dvalishvili, who has headlined 1 out of every 4 pay-per-views in 2025.
It's just the year of Merab. This was like Poatan last year. We get Merab once every 3 months, and he's been making us money. So you know what? To end the year with Merab, Maroon Merab, as you called it earlier, let's go.
Well, I'm excited to talk about that and, of course, the whole slate of bets that Ian has for us. But first, we will go back 2 weeks. Hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving and enjoyed this card over there in Qatar, where we had a positive outcome, Ian.
Yeah, plus 3.6 units. My big one was Arman Sarukian inside the distance. We love a no-sweat 5-unit premium play. Absolutely loved it. The parlay hit. Let's continue. Let's end the year. We've had back-to-back cards with a very successful one. Let's go.
Yep, let's keep it hot for the final 2 cards of the year. And so we go to Merab Dvalishvili, who's a minus 410 favorite. If you go back to 2023, it was a plus 210 underdog. So that just shows how much the narrative has changed on this man, and why wouldn't it? He is going for his 4th title defense of the year. He'd be the first person to ever do that in UFC history. The line, I mean, it seems like there's absolutely no value to extract out of this to me, but how are we going about trying to play this main event?
I mean, look, Merab's going to be the anchor in the parlay, so we just got to lean on the money line. Even him to win by decision is a minus 225, which is a very high number. But look, how do you not pick Merab at all at this point? He looks unstoppable. He weaponizes his cardio. His striking's gotten better, which makes the wrestling better. He doesn't get tired. And as good as Petr Yan is, I think his Achilles heel is someone who's going to pressure, rinse and repeat takedown attempts. I mean, listen, in that first fight, what was it, 49 takedown attempts by Merab? And that was because Petr Yan kept getting right back up. However, it's hard to imagine Merab losing this fight as good as Petr is. My only concern for Merab is the continuous weight cuts. You heard Daniel Cormier say that he starts on Wednesday and doesn't eat, doesn't drink. And that's tough, and you could see on the scales, he looks terrible, but Merab's also not human. He is a machine, so for me, he's going to be the anchor in our parlay. And if you want to take him by decision, you're willing to lay the juice at minus 220, I think it's a safe play.
My only hesitation on this is kind of what you said, is we're dealing with some unknowns. This has never been done. Merab Dvalishvili is 34 years old. Petr Yan is 32. He has a lot of motivation here to look very different than that fight that happened 2 years ago. So if we're going to take him, I want to know, are we just taking him because, obviously, everybody can look at Merab and be like, he's great, he should win. But do we feel like there is any value at minus 410, or are you just that comfortable at those odds to just throw him in the parlay?
Well, it gets us the plus money with the other 2 legs that we're going to be doing that we'll save for later in the show. Not that it's going to be a huge surprise to anyone who I take, but with Merab, it's just, how do you pick against him at this point? Like, what has Petr Yan done to make me think that the fight's going to be any different, especially when you have someone in Merab that can just keep on going and get better? I mean, the best performance from you and Merab was Umar being down 0-2 injured and using that cardio and his striking and the wrestling. How does Petr Yan win? He has to knock him out. Hasn't really done that yet. Merab is a tiny bit chinny, but I think he's good enough to avoid that. Wrestling is going to be key here.
Yeah, I mean, Merab has a way of making these tough fights look easy. He just did that against Corey Sandhagen just 2 months ago. So we'll see if we get a repeat of that in the main event. Let's move to the co-main event. You got Alexandre Pantoja looking for his 4th title defense against Joshua Van, who is fighting also for the 4th time this year. Looking confident up there at the press conference. Are we picking Joshua Van to get the magical year done, or is Pantoja just too good, Ian?
Dude, Pantoja, I'm going to give him his flowers because I don't think enough people do it. I think he's one of the best champions we got. I don't see him losing anytime soon, and I just think that Joshua Van is getting an opportunity here as a new opponent, timing, and based off the Royval performance. But, Brett, this is another one I go back. How does Van beat Pantoja? Where is he better? I don't think he's better than Pantoja anywhere, and Pantoja has shown us, I'm going to get you to the ground at some point. I'm going to take your back. I'm going to choke you. I'm going to send you to the Shadow Realm. You're going to wake up. We're going to shake hands. I think that's what happens here. Getting Pantoja to win inside the distance. I think there's such a different level here in skills, well-rounded across the board, where Pantoja checks off every box. Do I think Van could be a champion at some point? He's still young. He's got a lot to learn. He showed us a lot of grit, but Royval is not Pantoja. Pantoja gets this done inside the distance. Taking a step further, he wins by submission.
Okay, there you go. We're going to pivot off of the main and co-main, and we're going to get to Ian's best bets of the night. But actually, we're going to stick right down on the order of the card. It's the third fight on the main card is flyweight. Brandon Moreno taking on Tatsuto Taira. Very, very, very important fight at flyweight. What do you make of this one?
Man, it's hard for me here because I know how Tatsuto Taira can win this fight. He could literally get in a scramble, take Brandon Moreno's back, and sit there. I don't see it happening, though. Brandon Moreno, a plus money, who's the better striker, has been in wars, has fought better fighters. Avoid the takedown, keep it standing. Moreno wins at plus money. I'm going with Brandon Moreno here.
Let's go to one of the biggest gentlemen in the sport, I would say, Jan Blachowicz. He's been doing this for a very long time. Light heavyweight. He's taken on Bogdan Guskov. That is also kicking off the UFC 323 main card. How do you see that one going, and how are we trying to play it?
Man, this one's tough for me because Bogdan's been on a little bit of a roll, but the level of fighters he's fighting is not what Jan Blachowicz is. I think that Blachowicz is getting older. However, he is a smart fighter. He hasn't taken a ton of damage here. I think Blachowicz gets it done. It's a low line. He gets out of the first round. He wins. He could even get this done by submission.
Okay, so taking the veteran there and Jan Blachowicz. Let's move quickly along here to your next best bet. It happens at the lightweight division. Grant Dawson seems to have gotten it together a little bit after that hiccup that he had a couple of fights ago.
We call this speed betting. Give me Grant Dawson to win over 1.5. He has to avoid that violence in round one. He is fighting a devastating striker with a lot of power who has been knocked out, who does not have good takedown defense. And Dawson said in an interview, I have no ego. I understand why people don't want to fight me. I don't care. He's going to wrestle here. He's going to do it for 3 rounds, maybe get the finish, but Dawson over 1.5. I spoke with him. He's going to wrestle. He's not messing around. He gets the win. Let's go.
We're going to move on next to your premium play, so that means it's your most confident pick of the card. And I got to say, I'm a little surprised that you are putting the premium play on a fight that involves Maycee Barber, especially after what happened with her last time. But she did make weight this week, taking on Karine Silva. What do you got for us here on a premium play?
Well, look, Maycee Barber at her best is better everywhere minus jiu-jitsu. However, she is smart when she is in top position. She stays away. And Karine Silva is someone that if she doesn't get the submission in round one, she gasses. Her cardio falls. She doesn't throw a lot of volume. She throws very predictable looping strikes with power. Maycee Barber, a healthy Maycee Barber, gets this done relatively easy. So Maycee and over 1.5. I don't think she's finishing Karine here. I even think this fight goes all 3. Barber over 1.5. That is going to be one of my 5-unit plays. If she's going to do it, if she's going to show out with that primetime spotlight, it's here. Let's go, Maycee. Maybe look good here, please.
Okay, taking Maycee Barber there with a premium play. We move right on to the lightweight bout between Faraz Ziam and Nazim Sadikov. You got another best bet there for us.
I like Faraz here. Look, Sadikov is an absolute beast. He gets in wars. However, he's been tagged. He's been in fights with Slavaclaus that went to a draw. He was submitted by Terrence McKinney, and Faraz Ziam has been on quite the roll. He has showed high IQ. He showed an evolution in his game. As long as he doesn't brawl and controls the narrative of this fight, which I think he could do, he wins this fight, and I think he probably gets it done by decision.
I'll tell you what, this is a deep card at UFC 323, so I'm not surprised that Ian has got a billion best bets. He's got one more, and it's a good fight between Jalen Turner and Edson Barboza. How do you see this one?
This one shocked me with the odds. I was going to stay away from this. I was going to throw Turner into the parlay with the odds, especially him coming out of retirement, but he's healthy. And Barboza said he was going to retire, but then I heard that was misspoken. Anyway, let's get to the fun stuff. Jalen Turner winning over 1.5 rounds is crazy plus odds here. I think he's going to be a little hesitant. I think he's going to keep the distance, stay away from the leg kicks. You may even see him try and take Barboza down. To win in over 1.5, we're getting a crazy value there. Jalen Turner, let's go.
Yeah, not too bad odds there. A plus 180 on a minus 310 favorite. A guy who's coming back from a little bit of a layoff there in Jalen Turner. So that concludes the best bets on the sides, but we do have a prop of the night for UFC 323, and for that, we go back to the main event with Dvalishvili.
I'm going to lay the minus 225. Merab, listen, death taxes, Merab by decision here. Petr Yan, never been finished in his career. Merab just needs to set a record here and get the win. He will stay out of trouble. I think this is going to look a lot like the Umar fight. I don't usually lay the juice that high, but man, Merab by decision just feels like that's how that fight's going to go.
And if he does it, it's history. The guy will be doing it for the 4th time this year. Absolutely credible. We'll see if he gets it done and if it goes all 5 rounds in the main event. UFC 323. Let's go to the long shot parlay for this Saturday. What do you got there?
We're going to go with Ivo by KO or TKO over Ivo Aslan. We saw him in the Contender Series against a huge prospect where no one even thought that he was going to get it done. He won by knockout. I think he's got a good shot here. Alejandro Pantoja by sub and Bruno Ferreira. People may look at me scratching their head. Why would I take him to win by decision? Because Marvin Vettori's head and chin are made of cement. He has been dropped. I think it was by Roman Dolidze or a little bit rocked. Ferreira's got that potential, but I think it goes all three at plus 450. Let's go.
I'm feeling good vibes here at T-Mobile Arena. I think the long shot parlay is going to hit. I also think Ian Parker's final pay-per-view parlay for 323, that's going to hit as well. We got a 3-teamer for it.
A lot of P's on that one, right? And Brett, because the last pay-per-view, Parker's last pay-per-view parlay, let's go for 5 units. Merab, Pantoja, and Iwo, all three to get it done on the money line. It's another premium play. 5 units, let's go.
There we go. It's 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. You can find it on ESPN app. Thank you so much for watching UFC Best Bets. As always, follow Ian Parker on Twitter during the fights. He'll be giving out more advice there. And then tune in next week for our final show, UFC Best Bets of 2025. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the fights.